Why is it that if you give a motivational speaker long enough, eventually we always get around to the topic of goal setting? A, we can't come up with any new material. B, goals are very, very important. A, we can't come up with any new material. B, goals are very, very important. It's B. Let me tell you something, there is nothing, and I mean absolutely positively nothing, that you can do with less time, less talent, less energy, fewer resources, less commitment that will improve your life more than writing down specific goals for your life and reading them on a regular basis. This is my goal list. I started writing down my goals when I was 18, and I've carried them with me every day ever since. I should mention I am not a type A personality. I am a type AAA on amphetamines. You say that's a really long list, and I guess it is, but over half of them are checked off already. You see, I put a box next to each one so I can check them off when I do them. Become certified to scuba dive. Scuba dive on the Great Barrier Reef. Dine in the Eiffel Tower. Did you know that there's a restaurant in the Eiffel Tower? My wife and I went there several years ago on vacation, and while there, I made reservations at the Jules Verne restaurant in the Eiffel Tower. I spent $140 on a mediocre meal, but I got a check on my list. Incidentally, they'll tell you that it's an 8-course meal, but 4 of the courses are cheese. Go bungee jumping. Go skydiving. See the Graceland Mansion. Tour the Holy Land. Several years ago, I was invited to perform at a convention in a small town in South Dakota, which required me to fly into a city in South Dakota, rent a car, and drive there. My route took me right by the town of Mitchell, South Dakota, and there was a huge billboard that said, "Tour the Corn Palace." And so I turned in there. The Corn Palace is a big gymnasium that is decorated differently every year with a mural made out of millions of different colored kernels of corn. It's beautiful. So I toured the Corn Palace. You say, well, was that on your list? No, I got back in the car, wrote it on the list, and checked it off. I'm not above that. You know what makes me happy? Putting checks on my list. You know what makes me miserable? Going months without a single one. Let me tell you something that you already know. Life is short. So you better figure out what you're going to do with yours and get after it. The men that I admired when I was a little boy are now dying of old age. And it does not seem like it's been that long since I was a little boy. And I know what's going to happen, and so do you. I'm going to blink my eyes, and I'm going to be 80 years old, and I am either going to be looking back at a life filled with doing the things that were important to me, or a life filled with putting them off until I was too old, too sick, or too broke to do them.